3 days after the Battle of Gulnabad, Shah Mahmud arrived and Isfahan was soon surrounded. Mahmud knew that the only way to capture the capital was to starve it into submission. The Shah and the military leadership realized that the very survival of their country was now at stake. Troops were quickly stationed to guard all towers, gates, ingress points, and all bridges along the Zayende-Rud River. This was followed by an emergency session to formulate a strategy on how to defend Isfahan and defeat Mahmud. Once again, inconsistencies in the leadership bedeviled Safavid military thinking. The nobles and military leaders requested that Gholi Khan deploy out of the city with all available forces to engage and defeat Mahmud in open battle. Gholi Khan refused, apparently skeptical of his chances for success and aware of the low morale among his troops. The Shah decided to stay in the capital, and appointed Sayyid Abdallah as the commander-in-chief of all Safavid forces. It would have been more prudent for the Shah to leave before the Afghan noose tightened, as he could have raised more troops from the provinces. But the Shah rejected this advice and missed the opportunity to evacuate large numbers of civilians out of Isfahan. Sultan Hussein's ineptness thus ensured that Isfahan's civilians would be exposed to terrible suffering, while also putting a heavy strain on the city's dwindling food supplies. The Shah now sent appeals throughout the realm for military assistance. Messages were dispatched to King Vakhtang VI in Georgia and Ali Mardin Khan in Luristan. There was great hope that the Georgians would come to the rescue, as the Afghans had a great fear of Georgian troops, especially in close-quarter combat. Some even believed that the Afghans would simply withdraw upon seeing the Georgian troops. The Lurs too were especially fierce fighters and famed for their equestrian skills, martial arts, and proficiency in the use of firearms. Vakhtang V did not send troops due to his disillusionment with the sorry state of the Shah and his government in Isfahan and sympathy with Russia's plans for invasion. Another problem undermining Isfahan's defense was fifth columnists who supported Mahmud's takeover of the capital. These brought up-to-date reports to Mahmud of Isfahan's deteriorating state, the inner conflicts within the military leadership, and the state of the city's defenses. One report that reached Mahmud was that the Safavids had hastily buried a number of their cannon as they had retreated back to Isfahan after Gulnabad. The Ghilzai soon discovered the buried artillery pieces. The Safavid commanders then devised a rescue operation to retrieve the cannon. A raiding party launched a surprise attack and recovered all 24 cannon. These were loaded onto 9 wagons and transported back into Isfahan. This action angered Mahmud, who ordered his troops to storm Isfahan's bridges. The key bridges of Aliverdi Khan, Marnan, and Kaju were attacked, but each Ghilzai assault was thrown back by deadly cannon fire. The recent success at the bridges was overshadowed by continuing incompetence and inner conflicts among the leadership. Sultan Hussein further divided his court by removing his son Safi as heir, in favor of his other son, Tahmasp. At this juncture Mahmud sent an emissary with a white flag into Isfahan to offer his terms for ending the siege. He demanded that the Shah offer the hand of one of his daughters in marriage, pay him a huge financial sum, and appoint him as the governor of Kandahar, Khorasan, and Kerman. Predictably, these terms were rejected by Sultan Hussein. Mahmud's spy network soon proved its worth. A group of Georgian guards at the Marnan Bridge had taken to excessive drinking and fallen asleep. Mahmud was informed of this and launched a raiding party, which seized the bridge. The Afghans then broke into the Abbasabad district of Isfahan, tightening the noose around the capital. A number of local citizens did launch successful sorties against the Afghans, but these actions did little to alter the worsening situation. Meanwhile, citizens who tried to flee were mostly captured or killed by the Afghans. People still clung to the hope that the Georgians would come to the rescue, but no help would arrive from the Caucasus. It was at this juncture that the new crown prince, Tahmasp, managed to escape with 1,000 troops out of Isfahan on June 7/8. The citizenry were certain that Tahmasp would gather fresh troops and return to rescue them. Tahmasp proved to be a major disappointment, wasting precious time by sending messages to provincial chiefs instead of quickly linking up with loyal provincial forces. 66 Tahmasp did finally succeed in raising Bakhtiari, Georgian, Azerbaijani, Luri, Shahsavan, and Qajar warriors as well as troops from other Iranian provinces and tribes, but these arrived too late to save Isfahan. Warriors from Luristan and Kazvin had attempted to break the siege of Isfahan in May 1722, but Mahmud had beaten them back. Another rescue attempt was made in June when 8,000 Bakhtiari warriors from western Iran arrived with a large convoy of supplies. These were defeated by just 4,000 Afghans. This was the last sincere attempt to relieve the capital. Another force led by the fickle Malek Mahmud Sistani arrived in September but was persuaded by Mahmud to leave without incident. Sistani had been informed that Isfahan was about to fall and that he would become Khorasan's ruler in exchange for his support of Mahmud. Isfahan was now completely doomed. The inhabitants of the city did their utmost to fight back, one notable attack killing up to 300 Afghan troops and officers. These efforts however did little to alter the siege. By now the outbreak of famine had also forced many starving citizens to attempt a breakout in search of food and supplies. Mahmud also destroyed all farms and food sources in the surrounding countryside. Famine soon forced citizens to eat horseflesh and even rats to survive. Starving citizens were dying in Isfahan streets, among them many of Iran's men of learning and science. The end of Safavid rule came with great humiliation for Iran. Shah Sultan Hussein rode to Mahmud's camp at Farihabad and surrendered in October 1722. In an act of indignity, Sultan Hussein removed the Iranian symbol of kingship, the jaikyukya, from his turban and fastened it to Mahmud's turban. An Afghan force of 3,000, led by Amanullah Khan, rode into Isfahan to formally relieve the Iranian guards there. Mahmud sat on the Safavid throne and occupied the royal palace. Isfahan's population of over 500,000 in 1710 had been reduced to barely over 100,000.70 on November 24, 1722. After the fall of Isfahan and the dethroning of Shah Sultan Hussein, Tahmasp's retinue in Qazvin crowned him as Shah Tahmasp II.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا